today I'm actually gonna trade it, the strategy the way it's supposed to, the way it is supposed to be traded. Um, and I'm gonna wait for the breakouts. I'm gonna pause the video now and then come back in a few. So what I want to show you is that actually when we go down in the 1 minute, we can see how it jumped off nicely off that mid level. So most people would have hopped in on the early buys or on a buy from that level, right, all the way up to that level. That is a lot of points. It's like 783 points, right? Just depending on where you jumped in. But that's why this midpoint is also important, because you can use this level as a stop loss. For example, you can use it as a stop loss for when you put in a buy off this level, right? So say it breaks above, you can use that as your stop loss below that candle, right? Or you can use the last level, the last and final level as your stop loss is, and that is basically what you're supposed to do. And then you target a 1 is to whatever a risk to reward ratio, and obviously play it out with another strategy. Now what I like using is trends in trends, but the reason why I marked that at midway is because the midway line, it's so important. It's like another level of resistance that most traders trade off. So you could have actually caught that whole move from there back up there, and your stop loss could have been like just out there, and you could have just watched it play out right there in front of you. Boom, boom, boom. And then what I like doing is I like adding in my trend lines. So then I'll use this as a safety basically. So if this line ever gets crossed, then I'll be considered pulling out. So my stop loss would have been from here now. I would have moved it onto my break even, or around about just there, waiting for it to be broken, or waiting for my stop to be waiting to be stopped out. But that is not as important. So let's close this, and I'm gonna leave my trend line here because I'm hoping that is a valid 1 minute trend that I can then use for when it breaks above. So the ORB strategy just says that we wait for a full candle close above the opening high of the 15 minute and expect the movement towards the upside. But then it also says that we wait for a candle close below. Some people wait for that retest and then we target the downside. So let's just see how it plays out. So far we're getting great momentum. I'm sure the 15-minute candle is actually a bullish candle already. Look at that, it's a bullish candle on its own. And then now I'm just waiting for this to play out. See this right here, if I took a trade from the midway, this right here would have told me I should be considering getting out or moving my stop loss a bit tighter. So moving my stop loss up to this level here under this wick, but it's a nice rejection, which means it can still push up. But this candle here, this doji, it's a possible reversal down to this level, so I can close it there, secure the profits, wait for it to come down and re-enter again. It's really up to you what you decide. Okay, we are close to the top of the opening high, so I'm gonna go back up to the 5 minutes and just wait for that nice break of the outside. Now, what is happening here is that I will show you how it closes. So if it closes like this, that is a nice entry. You can put your stop loss there, or you can put your stop loss here. Now I'm gonna jump in early on this one because I have some confidence in this strategy, right? This time I'm gonna play it exactly the way it is supposed to be played. Buy, right? Put in the buys. And look at that huge candle. Damn. Put my stop loss on that level. So what I'm gonna do is on my phone is I'm gonna go on the 15 minute. Look for that 15 minute candle. So let's see quick how this 15 minute looks. Okay, it's on its second 15 minute. So the previous 15 minute is the one that I'm gonna take. Right. I'm recording on my phone also. So sometimes it looks weird, but what I'm marking out is this level here and this level here. Let's just clear this out. So now my stop loss is there, and you see how it's pulling back. So that is what you can fall into. You can fall into a trap like that because clearly, I clearly it didn't break above properly, right? And if you even look on the 15 minute candle, there's a huge wick right there. Why would you enter there? But I'm entering because I have an overall bias. Boom, done, dusted. I'm just gonna wait for the 15 minute candle, the 5 minute candle to close above. There is still potential. Okay, there is no potential. I jumped in too early, and you see that's the problem with not following the strategy. What I was supposed to do was I was supposed to wait for a candle to close above like this. I know it sounds I'm sounding like a really funny guy, and why am I not following my strategy? But this is what is supposed to happen, and then only I'm supposed to enter the buys or the sells. But I entered early, and that happens sometimes to the best of us. So let me show you what I'm seeing now. I put the buy in on this candle, settings, entry price 67, 44, 61, profit level open, stop level 67, 27.60. See, that's what I don't like about this. Oh yeah, because the chart's all bit different. But I'm gonna drag it to approximately where it is supposed to be. So where it's supposed to be. Crazy. It's actually on the tip of that thing, on the top of the wick. Let's just quick see how far this thing is into losses. 6 or 0.60. Okay, that is approximately where it is. Exit. And then my stop is all the way down here. That's an early entry. So if I lose, everyone knows why. There isn't really a high because we are at the all-time high. So I'm just gonna target a 1, it's 2, 3, or 1 is to 2 basically. Yeah, I'm a dumbass. I should have just waited for the candle. I should have just waited for the candle to close on the outside rather than entering a trade early. But yeah, basically you don't want to do what I just did. You want to wait until the candle closes on the outside, like this, on the outside. You wait for that candle close like this, right? Then that signals the buys. Not pushing still and then boom, there you find, oh, this thing is turning around. Then you're in deep, deep, da la la la. Then that happens. So let's see and wait basically for the SLT or for it to do what I think it's gonna do. So this trend line was broken, so that would signal me to basically jump out of this trade, but I'm not gonna jump out of this trade because of I'm happy and I know we have some news at 4 o'clock. It's almost 4 o'clock. Soon, soon, soon. Boom, and just there, I'd be considering buys. It's breaking the trend line, right? We have a green candle, a nice small hammer, and also at the bottom of the uh, what's this thing called? The opening of the 15-minute, right? 15-minute low. That is why I would be considering a buy. Um, that's just my opinion, and then my stop loss would be on that red line there, that is the opening low, and just play around with that to save my ass. But I'm still in this trade for the longs, and I'm just gonna keep it until the end for either stop loss to be hit and then see what happens. um Data because the Wi-Fi is off. I forgot that the chart wouldn't be running, but this is what happened basically. Right, you see how beautiful it followed that line, how beautiful it followed this trend. Now it's breaking this trend now, just to, like I said, sometimes it retests this level and then continues up. So what I can do is I can actually just adjust it up to there and be like, I will use that as my safety. That's what I can do. But this thing is still gonna play out for a while. I don't know what am I gonna do though. Literally, this trading strategy doesn't get any easier. This is me chilling with my dog outside, and this is the trade that I currently took. Running in profits. It went into a nice stop,
hunting my stop loss a bit, but then obviously it turned around because I also called the turnaround. And like anything, if you understand your strategy, then it works. It's just the first time that I'm recording it and actually gonna get the TP hit on this one. Sorry boy. And that's how simple it is. You can monitor it wherever you are, whatever you do. Don't look at my feet, I'm just chilling with him. He was busy now for at least 30 minutes, so I just wanna chill with him and let him catch a breather before we go back at it and start keeping him all mentally tired. But yeah, this is how simple the strategy is. Screenshots, but I've entered another trade around about there. As you can see, I've entered another trade just here. And the reason why I did another trade is because I realized I'm on the 5 minute. There was a nice break, right? That was the break there. There was the push, and that was the retest of the ORB. So some people like entering on the retest. I'm just trying to show you that there's many ways of trading the breakout or the ORB strategy, right? The opening range breakout. So this is one of the ways where you just wait for the retest. So I've waited now for the retest and I've entered, because also if we look at that beautiful wick, it's a green candle, and look at that long wick underneath it. So that is what gave me more motivation to actually enter. Right, so I'm just gonna let it play out and adjust my trend lines now. Right, you don't have to use trend lines when trading the ORB strategy. All you need is the ORB strategy, right? That's all you actually need. This is just for me to feel a bit better that it is following my strategy. Not my strategy, but what I've learned over the past 2 years wasting my life. Like, come on man, if you learn something for 2 years, you want to at least see if it still works. And clearly it still works, because I see that this is a possible move now since it broke this small trend line here. So I'm gonna let it play out, and I have 2 TPs above there. It's basically a 1-to-1. Actually no, it's a 1-to-2. It's a 1-to-2 for both trades. No, for the one trade that I put in first, this one here, it's a 1-to-2, and then the one that I put in here, it's a 1-to-2. Okay, I feel stupid now, but it's a 1-to-2. And let's see how this trade plays out. It's NFP Friday. Let's see how it plays out. I will come back in probably at like 6:30 or something. Yeah, let's see how it does it 6:30.